You can have him if you want. He helps when you're sad." The small voice carried across the playground like a gentle breeze, stopping Cameron Northfield mid-stride. He'd been pacing near the park benches, phone pressed to his ear, arguing with his board of directors about quarterly projections. Now he lowered the device slowly, his attention caught by something far more important than numbers. His daughter Riley sat alone on the swings, her small frame motionless, while other children shrieked and played around her. She hadn't moved in 20 minutes. Just sat there, her patent leather shoes tracing patterns in the wood chips below, her eyes fixed on something Cameron couldn't see, or perhaps on nothing at all. But now, a little boy approached her. He couldn't have been more than 4, with a mop of sandy brown hair and overalls that had seen better days. In his arms, he clutched a stuffed dinosaur, green fabric worn smooth from countless nights of comfort, one eye hanging by a thread, the tail patched with mismatched fabric. Cameron watched, transfixed, as the boy held out his treasure to Riley. "My mama says that Mr. Stomps has magic in him," the boy continued, his voice carrying that earnest certainty only young children possess. "When I'm lonely, I hug him real tight and tell him my secrets, and then I don't feel so alone anymore. You look like you need him more than me today." Riley's head lifted slowly. Cameron saw his daughter's face, those enormous brown eyes that looked so much like her mother's, fill with confusion and something else. Something that looked like the first crack in ice after a long, brutal winter. "But he's yours," whispered Riley, her voice rusty from disuse. She'd barely spoken in the 3 months since her mother's death from a sudden brain aneurysm. "I know," the boy said simply, sitting down on the swing beside her without invitation, still holding out the dinosaur. "But sharing's important. That's what Mama always says. And you need a friend right now. I can tell." Cameron's throat constricted painfully. He canceled his call with a swipe, not caring about the consequences. Nothing, absolutely nothing, was more important than this moment. The boy's mother sat on a nearby bench, and Cameron recognized her immediately. Delphine Hartwell. He'd seen her at this park before, always with a sketchbook, always watching her son with an expression of fierce protective love. She worked at the art supply store downtown. He'd stopped in once months ago, before everything fell apart, to buy Riley watercolors for her birthday. Delphine looked worn today, her auburn hair pulled back in a practical ponytail, her jacket frayed at the cuffs. But she watched her son with such pride, such tenderness, that Cameron felt something shift in his chest. Riley reached out tentatively, touching the dinosaur's soft fabric. "What's his name again?" "Mr. Stomps, because when I was littler than now, I used to stomp around and roar, and Mama made him so I'd have someone to stomp with." The boy demonstrated, his small feet pounding the ground enthusiastically. For the first time in 3 months, Riley smiled. Just a flicker, barely visible, but Cameron saw it. His vision blurred instantly. "I'm Jasper Hartwell. What's your name?" Riley Northfield." She accepted the dinosaur, holding it carefully like the precious gift it was. "Are you sure about letting me have him?" "For now," said Jasper, with the casual wisdom of the very young. "You can give him back when you feel better. Mama says kindness is like planting flowers. You give them water and sun, and they grow into something beautiful. Maybe Mr. Stomps can help you grow your smile back." Cameron couldn't move, couldn't breathe. This child, this beautiful, generous child, was offering his most treasured possession to a complete stranger simply because he recognized pain and wanted to help. Delphine had noticed the interaction now. She stood, moving toward the swings with concern creasing her features. "Jasper, honey, you don't have to." "It's okay, Mama," Jasper interrupted gently. "She needs him. I can share." Delphine's eyes met Cameron's across the playground, and understanding passed between 2 parents who knew grief intimately. She'd heard about Eleanor Northfield's death. Everyone in their small town had. The brilliant young mother, gone without warning. The CEO husband left to raise his daughter alone. What she didn't know was that Cameron was failing spectacularly, that Riley hadn't spoken more than necessary words in months, that he'd hired 3 nannies who'd all quit because they couldn't reach his silent, grieving daughter. that he lay awake every night terrified he was losing her to a darkness he couldn't penetrate. "Thank you," Cameron said hoarsely to Jasper, approaching them slowly. That's very kind of you." Jasper looked up at the tall man with the expensive suit and tired eyes. "You're her daddy?" "I am." "Then you should know, Mr. Stomps likes bedtime stories, and he's scared of thunderstorms, so you gotta hold him extra tight when it rains. And," you leaned in conspiratorially, "he loves peanut butter sandwiches, but don't tell the other toys, they get jealous." Riley clutched the dinosaur tighter, and Cameron saw her lips curve upward again. Over the following weeks, something remarkable happened. Riley began speaking more, always to tell Cameron about Mr. Stomps's adventures. They returned to the park every Saturday, and every Saturday, Jasper was there. The two children formed a bond built on that initial act of kindness, playing together, sharing snacks, whispering secrets that only 4-year-olds understand. Cameron learned Delphine's story in fragments, pieced together from brief conversations while watching their children play. She'd been married to an aspiring musician who'd walked out when Jasper was 6 months old, declaring fatherhood wasn't his journey. She supported them through her art, selling paintings at local markets, teaching children's classes at the community center, working retail to make ends meet. She never complained, never asked for anything, just loved her son with a ferocity that Cameron ached with admiration. One rainy afternoon, Cameron saw Delphine at the art supply store where she worked part-time. She was helping an elderly woman select brushes, her patience infinite, her smile genuine. I waited until her customer left. "Delphine."
She turned, surprise flickering across her face. "Mr. Northfield, hello." "Cameron, please." He hesitated, feeling uncharacteristically uncertain. "I wanted to thank you, properly, for what Jasper did, for Riley." "Jasper's kindness is his own," she said gently. "I can't take credit for his heart." "But you can. You raised him to see pain in others and want to help. That's extraordinary." Cameron's voice roughened. "Riley barely spoke for 3 months after her mother died. That first day at the park, when Jasper gave her Mr. Stomps, was the first time I'd seen her smile. You gave me my daughter back." Delphine's eyes glistened. "I'm so sorry for your loss. I can't imagine." "You can, actually. You're raising Jasper alone. You know what it means to be everything for your child." He paused, gathering courage. "I have a proposition. My company has a foundation that supports local artists. We provide grants, studio space, exhibition opportunities. I'd like to nominate you." Delphine stiffened immediately. "I don't need charity." "It's not charity. It's an investment in talent. I've seen your work. The sketch you did of the children at the park last week, you left it on the bench. It was breathtaking. You have a gift, Delphine. You shouldn't have to work retail when you could be creating." "I appreciate the offer, but there's something else." Cameron took a breath. "Riley's been asking about Jasper, about why we only see him on Saturdays. She wants him to come over for dinner. She wants to have a friend." The truth was more complicated. Riley had asked why Jasper lived in a small apartment while they had a big house, why his shoes had holes while hers were new, why Jasper's mama looked so tired all the time. The questions had broken something open in Cameron's chest, the realization that his daughter, despite her grief, still saw others' pain and wanted to help, just like Jasper had seen hers. Delphine studied him carefully. "This isn't about the art grant, is it? This is about our children." "It's about kindness," Cameron said quietly. "Your son taught mine about generosity, about seeing beyond your own pain to someone else's need. That's worth more than any business deal I've ever made. And I want Riley to keep learning that. I want her to have Jasper in her life. And honestly," his voice cracked slightly, "I want you in mine. Both of you." "Mr. Northfield, Cameron, we barely know each other." "I know you're an incredible mother. I know you raised a child who gives away his most precious possession to comfort a stranger. I know you work 3 jobs to provide for your son and still find time to teach free art classes at the shelter. I know you haven't complained once about how hard your life is, while I've spent 3 months drowning in self-pity despite having every resource imaginable. I met her eyes steadily. I know enough. 2 months later, the art grant came through. Delphine was given studio space in Cameron's building, a light-filled room where she could paint while Jasper attended the company's on-site daycare with Riley. It wasn't charity. Her first exhibition sold out within a week, her paintings of everyday kindness resonating with viewers hungry for beauty and hope. But more than the professional opportunity, a family was forming, not through marriage or legal bonds, but through the gradual building of trust and affection. Cameron and Delphine discovered they could talk for hours about their children, their fears, their dreams. Jasper and Riley became inseparable, teaching each other about generosity and resilience. One evening, 6 months after that first meeting at the park, the 4 of them sat together in Cameron's living room. Jasper and Riley were having a tea party with Mr. Stomps and Riley's entire collection of stuffed animals. "I think Mr. Stomps wants to come home with me now," Jasper announced suddenly. Riley's face fell, but she nodded slowly, holding out the beloved dinosaur. "Okay, thank you for sharing him with me." Jasper took Mr. Stomps, then immediately handed him back. "But I think he should live at both our houses, like we share him forever, because we're best friends now, and best friends share everything." Riley's face lit up like sunrise. "Really? Really?" Cameron watched Delphine wipe tears from her eyes. He reached over, taking her hand gently. She didn't pull away. "Your son is remarkable," he said quietly. "So is your daughter. Look how much she's grown." It was true. Riley laughed now, spoke freely, dreamed aloud about the future. The silent, frozen child was blooming back to life. "Mama, can we have dinner here tomorrow too? Riley's daddy says he's learning to make spaghetti and he needs taste testers." "If it's okay with Cameron," Delphine said, looking at him with a smile that made his heart skip. "It's more than okay. It's everything." Later, after Delphine and Jasper had gone home, Riley climbed into Cameron's lap during their bedtime routine. She held Mr. Stomps close, her small fingers tracing the worn fabric. "Daddy, is it okay that I'm happy again, even though Mommy's gone?" Cameron's throat completely closed. He held his daughter tighter. "Oh, sweetheart. Yes, Mommy would want you to be happy. She'd love that you found a friend like Jasper. Jasper says kindness is like planting flowers. Do you think my happy feelings are the flowers growing?" "I think that's exactly what they are, baby. I think Jasper and his mama helped us plant a whole garden." Riley was quiet for a moment. "I love you, Daddy, and I love Jasper and Miss Delphine too. Is that okay?" "That's more than okay. That's perfect." As Cameron tucked his daughter into bed, Mr. Stomps clutched in her arms. He thought about the journey from that first day at the park. A little boy with nothing but a worn stuffed animal had given everything, and in doing so, had saved 2 broken people he'd never met. Kindness doesn't calculate worth or count the cost. It sees a need and responds with an open heart. A 4-year-old understood what many adults forget, that our most valuable possessions aren't things we own, but the love we share. When we give from our poverty, whether that's material, emotional, or spiritual, we create abundance that ripples outward in ways we cannot imagine. The greatest gifts don't come wrapped in expensive paper. They come wrapped in compassion, offered by small hands with enormous hearts. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's spread more stories of kindness and hope together.